Microsoft bought ZeniMax for $7.5 billion. That included Bethesda, which that includes properties like the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. So the question has become for all of us, will future Bethesda games be exclusive to Microsoft? Phil Spencer had an interview with Kotaku's Stephen Totilo, and this is what Stephen asked him about this deal. Is it possible to recoup a $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation? Phil Spencer gave a direct answer. Yes. Now, he did follow that up with the fact that he didn't want to be flippant about that answer, but it gets a little bit more interesting after that. This is what Phil Spencer had to say. This deal was not done to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was, how do we keep other players from playing these games? We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to go play games. Further down, he says, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us. Okay, so Phil doesn't have to put Elder Scrolls on PlayStation in order to make the deal work. Phil doesn't have to put Fallout on the PlayStation or the Switch to make that kind of deal work for them. Well, how is that possible? You're going to get more money from being multi-platform. So how in the world are they able to recoup that kind of cost, $7.5 billion, by the way, without going multi-platform? And he's confident in the idea, no, we don't even have to do that. Well, you might say Game Pass. Okay, sure. But it's not like all that money of Game Pass is certainly just going to recoup the $7.5 billion. That's part of it. But we got to assume some of that Game Pass money is also furthering other deals and things like that, getting other new games, et cetera, right? The part that's interesting is where Phil says, nowhere in the documentation that we put together was, how do we keep other players from playing these games? We want more people to be able to play these games, not fewer people to be able to go play games. Well, if it's not multi-platform, then less people are going to be able to play the games. Except if you think about the Xbox Series S. Now, in this interview, Phil Spencer talks a lot about the Xbox Series S and its price. And this is the way Phil Spencer thinks about the Xbox Series S. He thinks it's going to sell more than the Xbox Series X. He also thinks the Xbox Series S will be a second console to the PlayStation 5 or the Switch or the PC, whatever the case may be. In that case, it's very Nintendo-like. Nintendo knows the Switch is the second console for them because they know a lot of people like the PlayStation, they know a lot of people like the Xbox, but they also know a lot of people like Nintendo franchises. So Nintendo's completely okay with the idea of the Switch being the second console because they know you can't deny these wonderful exclusives. So this is how Phil Spencer is thinking about the Xbox Series S. You like Elder Scrolls, you like Fallout, you like these other ZeniMax Bethesda properties, cool. I expect you to buy the Xbox Series S as your second console. And the way I make that possible is by keeping it at $300. And of course, in those great times where it's on sale or there's a bundle, whatever the case may be. When he says we want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to go play games, but yet out of the same breath says I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to make this deal work. When he says that lets me know the Xbox Series S is the X factor here because he thinks that's going to sell more than the Xbox Series X. That's going to be the platform people choose if they just want to play their Elder Scrolls, if they just want to play their Fallouts. So yes, in his mind, he's not limiting people to be able to play the Fallouts and the Elder Scrolls because the S is so cheap. According to, people who buy consoles, nobody considers the Nintendo Switch like this expensive piece of hardware. Not saying it doesn't take a little bit of savings. Not trying to, dismiss that relativity there. But at the same time, when people look at the Xbox Series S, they're like, dang, that's cheap. Phil is not limiting the availability necessarily. He's saying, no. It'll be available. It'll be available on our platform, but it'll be pretty darn accessible because of the Xbox Series S. So based on the evidence, yes, I do think these Bethesda games will be exclusive. Absolutely. Thing is, if you want to play them, you'll just have to get that second console, being the Xbox Series S. Whether you get it on the cheap or you just get it at the retail price that it's at, that's going to be the second console for a lot of people. So I ask you, do you believe Elder Scrolls will be exclusive to Xbox? How do you interpret what Phil said about the potential? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please tap that thumbs up button. Also, if you want more insight and opinions on the latest gaming news, as well as tons of gameplay content from all kinds of games, then please tap that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later.